Alongside.
Mike Romeo 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Station Juliet Foxtrot, come again please, over.
Yes, it's Mike Romeo 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Roger that, Mike Radio 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Very good afternoon from Luxembourg. This is Lima, X-Ray 2 Alpha Mike. My name is Ricardo, Roger.
Yeah, Lima X-Ray 2 Alpha Mike, Mike Romeo 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot returning. Very good afternoon to you, Ricardo. 5 and 9 plus 10, sometimes 5 and 9 plus 20. A superb signal into the southeast of England. I'm just in Sidcup in Kent, about 20 kilometres southeast of the city of London. As I say, you've got a great signal. The radio that I'm using is an old Tango Sierra 520 Sierra, an old analog hybrid radio by Trio, and my antenna is a long wire, 27 metres long. It's about 10 metres above the ground and running about 120 watts at this time. Back to you.
Roger that, Mike Radio 0 Juliet Charlie Fox. This is Lima X-Ray 2 Alpha Mike. Thank you very much to come back to my call. Okay, you come loud and clear, no problem. Okay, the antenna I'm using right now is a 2-element Yagi dynamic antenna from Ultra Beam. Okay, that I have pointed over UK. Okay, and my working power is about 500 watts on LD mode ICOM amplifier. Okay, and transceiver is the ICOM 7300. Okay, thank you very much for the contact. Wish you all the best. Mike Radio 0 Juliet Charlie Fox. This is Lima X-Ray 2 Alpha Mike 73. Greetings to UK. Bye bye.
Yeah, LX2AM MR0 JCF Ricardo, an absolute pleasure and a fantastic signal from you. Just looking at the meter, you are 5 and 9 plus 20. So that Yagi working very well. Bye bye for now. 73's great weekend.
73, all the best. Great weekend to you also. Thank you very much. Bye bye. You are that.
Coming down, would that add to the weight of the dipole? A bit better. Bike 0, Bike Tango Quebec from Papa Alpha 1 Lima Echo Golf in the group. Very nice talking, my friend David. 73 from Rotterdam. Until the next time, my friend. I'll just leave you quickly for the final, and hopefully I can hear what you're saying. Over.
Thanks, Bernard. Yeah, 73. Copy all that. Sounds like you got some noise your end.
But speak to you again, speak to you again further down the log. Have fun.
Bye-bye, 73.
Yeah, do you copy that, Shabu?
Indeed. Thank you very much, David. Thank you. You went down a little bit. You went down to 5 by 5 as well. But not a problem. I went down to 718.5 and politely requested this Uniform Alpha station, the Uniform Alpha Charlie station, to give at least give 2.4 kc clearance. Because working just 1 kc or 1.5 kc below, probably it is damaging them than they are damaging us, because it is a lower sideband. But some of these people don't seem to be getting that what LSP clearly means. So I politely requested them to move away. I think they have got some morality and they have obliged John. So I will say 73 to David at the moment, and we will definitely catch up from Manchester. David. Have a lot of fun with your portable walking and have a good evening. Namaste, Shukriya from South London. Bye-bye, David.
Thanks, Shabu. Bye-bye. 73.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I've just read your message now. You politely asked the cure station to go away. Yeah, thanks. Because, you know, when I speak to you, Shabu, and I see you've got a new photo, what? Very nice photo of your son there. Don't know what he's doing there. Is he eating an ice cream? Very nice picture of you've sent on your WhatsApp image. It does make me smile looking at your son there with a big smile on his face. Yeah, when I'm speaking to you, Shabu, or anybody with power behind the audio, then it's not really a problem with the station. But unfortunately, David was sat in the middle of a field working on, I think, 80 watts or so, and then I had a problem hearing him. But yeah, it's a shame people come on frequencies close by, but I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt, and they probably just couldn't hear David. That's what I think. But when I start speaking and you start speaking, I'm pretty sure they can hear us all. But yeah, anyway, it was nice to copy David in the field. But how are things with you, Shabu? I know you've been busy with your wiring today, but have you had a good day? Over.
Break, please.
Yeah, I'm hearing some sort of QRM there. But that is okay. You are 59 plus 20 dB, not a problem at all. Yeah, John. Yes, Friday. Yes, it's Friday. Not much happens on a Friday because our colleagues are, most of our colleagues are in Romania. The engineers, a lot of my colleagues I work with, they are all based in Romania. I think it was a bank holiday there yesterday. And most of them took a break today, so they get 4 days off, John. And then we have the half-term holidays running. So the parents are busy with the children this week. So most of the team members, they are off this week. So it's only 4 of us. And we had a meeting. And then we had a quick chat about the stuff. And then one more meeting as well. Then after that I was done. But then I didn't manage to get onto the band during the lunchtime. But I waited for my cables to arrive. Amazon, they are very good at delivery. They arrived and then I started rewiring it. It's not complete yet. It's not complete yet. But when testing locally, I could see the clarity has improved much. And even the output power in a way, and I started wondering, how come the output power increased compared to the same position? And that I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that part. Because there was an XC output coming from the exciter itself. When I was listening through the SDR transceiver locally. SDR receiver locally. John, very good. I saw your pictures, and we didn't get a chance to talk about your adventure in at the allotment. And probably by now you appreciate, John, the importance of a little bit more power on 40-meter band. Because when you were working with us, you were only 5x5, 5x4, and it was a difficult hobby. But at home you are. You, according to Austin, you are the biggest of the biggest, he uses that terminology, biggest of the biggest station, big station, John. Papa Alpha 1, London Echo, Germany. Mike 0 kilowatt radio.
Break, please.
I know, I just want to get out and about, at least this year, and I do normally go down to the beach, but the allotment is so close by. In fact, I went on a pedal bike. It's so close by, and I really want to do some portable work at least once this year, but I'm going to do it again. But yeah, we have to do the best we can with what we've got. And funny, the receive was really very good with the end-fed wire. I was really surprised how well it received, but unfortunately the transmit yeah, left a lot to be desired. But the aerial, the 40 metre and the 20 metre length, we're only about 2 metres off the ground, so yeah, it's going to be compromised. But you know, working here, where I am now, and working the allotments, as you know, the equipment is completely different. So, but yeah, it was fun to do, and I'm sure I'll do it again sometime soon. Funnily enough, I got Gunther sent me a reply on the video. So Gunther had a listen in, and he also likes end-fed wires. I think he calls himself Uncle Gunther, which I thought was particularly funny, but there we go. I've heard the phone make a couple of bleeps, that might be you. I did hear somebody calling Shabu in between the conversation, so I'll just see if anybody's calling Shabu, and then I can have a look at the telephone. Is there any operator calling Shabu there, over?
Mike Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Fox did call break.
Yeah, just a moment, operator. Shabu, can you bring in the operator on the side, and I'll have a quick look at the phone, the latest messages, Shabu. I'll pass the chairman's hand over to you for now, temporarily, mind you, over.
Yeah, that is fine. I was just giving a pause there, John. I had a mic radio 0, but I did not get the last part. The mic radio 0 station, could you please repeat your call sign once again for me, over?
Okay, Shabu, very good evening. It's Mike Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, and we have worked before, Shabu. I think we've worked on 40 metres and maybe 2 metres. The name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. I'm just across town from you in Sidcup in Kent. I believe you're in the Croydon area, if I remember rightly. And yeah, tonight I'm using Mike Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Fox, as I have done for May and June for the coronation of King Charles, but you would have worked me before as just plain old M0 JCF, Shabu. Back to you.
Indeed. Mark, you are, I believe, under this call sign, this is the first contact, because I was looking at the log, but I couldn't find under this call, but under your original Mike 0, Japan Charlie Fox, your original home call, I mean the regular call, even that is not coming up. Mike Radio 0, Japan Charlie, Florida. You are 59 at the moment, Mark. 5 by 9 at the moment in South Croydon. And it looks like we are not very far away from each other. We are only 10 miles away. Probably we are working under the ground waves here, Mark. I'm running an ICOM IC7800, pushing about 400 at the moment, into a 2-element wire beam antenna, and beaming almost in your direction. Looking at the QR is a base, and I can see you are a 55-degree angle coming. I'm sweeping towards 60-degree marker. Comfortable for me, not a problem. There is a QR maker, but you're very strong, and it is not a problem for me at all. Even John, he's a fine and plus 20. The QR maker is just wasting his electricity bill and accumulating a very, very bad karma. Mike Radio 0, Japan Charlie, Florida. Mike 0 kilowatt radio Italy. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, Mike 0 kilowatt Radio Italy, Shabu. This is Mike Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Mark. Yeah, I'll tell you what then, it might have been a very long time ago then. I've had my M0 call sign for 3 years or more, and maybe you worked me as 2 Echo 0, Echo Romeo X-ray. But we've definitely spoken. As I say, we may well have also spoken on 2 meters. But never mind. You're 5 and 9 plus 15 to me, and I think it was John Papa Alpha 1 Lima X-ray Golf. Lima Echo Golf. He's also about 5 and 9 plus 10 plus 15. I'm using a Trio Tango Sierra 520 Sierra this evening, Shabu. It's my old analog hybrid radio, so no digital displays, no nothing. All done by eye on the dial. Running about, just checking the meter now, the external meter, about 125 watts. And the antenna is a long wire antenna. Now it's 90 feet long, and it's about 25 feet above the ground. And you say we could be working ground wave, but the signal strength is really quite loud or quite big for ground wave. Now my antenna, I know, is a very, very good NVIS antenna for 40, 60 and 80 meters. And I got a feeling that my signal is going straight up and then dropping straight down. As you say, you're only 10 miles away as the crow flies. And it could be that we're running skip, but very, very high angle from my antenna. I have worked people via skip, at these sort of distances. It's probably inefficient in some respects, that a lot of my power, I think it's 7 dB gain straight up from my antenna, with about 5 dB gain on a side lobe, and then really it's no real gain horizontal, maybe just a little bit of gain horizontal, probably less than 3 dB. So that could be the mechanism that we're working this evening. But I heard you talking, and I think somebody mentioned about using NFED wires. Of course, mine is a random NFED, and that's why I just wanted to jump in. I know you had someone in Manchester. He was mobile. He was an excellent signal as well, 5 and 9 plus 10. So very good into G this evening. And I can also hear the QR Mexico. It was on the high side of 40 meters last night as well. I'm imagining it's possibly some sort of radar or something like that, probably from the east. So back to you, Mike. 0 Kilo, can't read my writing. Mike 0 Kilo Romeo India. This is Mike Romeo 0 Juliet Charlie Fox. Back to you, Shabu.
Yeah, very good, very good. Comfortable copy between 57 and 59 mark. Congratulations on the Trio 520, and I recently acquired a Trio 530, and I'm yet to operate on that. I'm fascinated by the old hybrid transceivers, Mark. Old hybrid transceivers. I don't know what microphone you are using with Trio, but I got the original microphone that came with Trio 530. Mark, about the antenna, you surprised me when you said 7 dBi and this gain for a long wire antenna. I don't know how you say that. Have you modeled it, and you have seen that in the modeling? It has got 7 dBi. The reason I'm asking, I never thought the long wire antenna has such a gain at the NVIS angle. The antenna I have modeled the 2-element Moxon wire beam at 80-degree angle. The NVIS angle, it has got about 8.4 dBi. So I get quite a strong report when the inter-G local or far skip is happening, and also time to time while we are having QSO with the inter-G or European front, and we get a call from Indonesia and Japan as well time to time, but not daily, and that has happened a couple of times. So it works really well for a local, regional and DX. At the DX angle, it is only about 1 dBi. There is no particular advantage unless I am able to raise this at least another 7 meter above the ground level. At the moment, it's only 7 meter above the ground level. So the DX angle gain is negligible, but it still worked, Mark. Yes, we tried the vertical antenna with a reflector as well, but wasn't quite successful. It wasn't very successful, of course. During the daytime, it is useless. But in the evening, we were not hearing much DX to be having a DX antenna. And our interest is not into the DX either. So local regional contact for that NVIS, the cloud warmer, the one you are using, the one I am using, works really, really well, Mark. Thank you very much for stopping by and saying hello to us. Let me pass you over to John. Papa America 1 London Echo Germany to go ahead and please give a report to Mark as well, John. Mike 0 kilowatt radio Italy. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, a very good afternoon, John. John, that's me. A good afternoon, Mark. That's you. Just Googled your radio. It's got trio on it, so it's quite a few years old. Back in the day, you used to have a trio, or was it Kenwood Slash Trio when I bought it, a stereo amplifier. And I think I also had an equalizer by the same company for the music downstairs. Well, back then it wasn't downstairs, but yeah, nice audio, nice signal, Mark. Here it's Rotterdam. Very clean, clear audio. Not much bass, which I like. I like audio that has very little bass, because I think it just muddies the audio. What sort of power are you using, Mark? And I only ask you because I'm getting a good 10 dB overnight from you. What sort of power are you running? Are you running an amplifier, Mark? Or is this just through the radio power? Over.
Yeah, Papa Alpha 1, Lima Echo Golf. This is Mike Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Fox. Okay, John, if I could just answer, thanks for the report, by the way. If I could just answer Shabu first on the antenna. My antenna, now I've used long wire antennas since 1974 when I started crystal set construction and shortwave listening. And so the only reason I'm using the long wire now is because that was there when I got my license in 2017, and it was just after that somebody modelled it for me. I never modelled it, and it was those that told me it was about 7 dB straight up because of the height off the ground. I was getting a reflection off the ground. Now I don't know how well that was modelled, because I basically gave him, you know, the dimensions. I told him how long, how high, and the style. It's an inverted U, so it does have two vertical components. The horizontal component is probably, I would say the horizontal component is about 60 feet, and the two vertical components at each end are 10 feet. So that was that. And yeah, as I say, it's not a great DX antenna, but you know, it's there. I'm a very, very, very lazy antenna man, so that's why I've got the long wire, and why I quoted the figures I did. As I say, that was what was given to me about 5-6 years ago when I got my M6. And you know, I'm okay with 2 meter band antennas, etc. I've got a 9-element LFA for 2 meters SSB, and I've got a vertical collinear for 2 meters 70 sems, etc., and a 10 meter band vertical as well for 10, and I use it on 12 as well. So you can see I've got a mix, but I'm very, very lazy. So I hope that gives you some answers there. And John, you're also 5 and 9 plus 10 to me. No amplifier on this radio. Just checking the external meter, and it looks like I'm about 130 watts. 130 watts out of the back. I might be running the plate current a little bit high on this. I think they recommend about 122 milliamps, and I'm running about 130 milliamps at this time. The valves are still good. I think that the driver valve might, you know, it could probably do with being replaced, because the ALC isn't always quite stable, and that might be why my power flicks around between sort of about 120 and 135 watts. But yeah, it's just straight out the back of the radio. I've actually got 3 of these radios, the TS-520S, and yeah, I used to have a Kenwood hi-fi system back in the day, back in the 1980s. Always been a Kenwood man. As I say, I've got 3 of these. This one's actually up for sale, and I'm making a quick video as well to sort of showcase that, you know, it works well both ways. The microphone I'm using is a Pi microphone, so it's a high impedance microphone, but this one is a Pi. I forget the model number off the top of my head, but it's a 50k microphone made by Pi, probably late 60s, maybe early 1970s. The radio itself must be about 1980 or just before. There were several models. There was the 520, the 520S, which is this one, has top band, and I've got the SE. I think they might be I can't remember if it's the SE or the SX is the lower powered ones. The other 2 need restoration, but I do have a TS 830S as well, and I've been using that quite intensively since I bought it about 6 weeks ago. It's a beautiful radio, come with some, you know, lots of kit. So yeah, I like the old hybrids. I like the old valve stuff. I've just bought myself a KW 2000. That should arrive any day now. And I've also got some old Swan transceivers and summer camps from the 1960s. Not to mention all of the Kodar AT5s, John. So I'm sure you know all these old radios. But yeah, the Trio, I think that was the Kenwood radio was licensed as Trio in the UK. So they're the same radio, just badged as you know, where they were manufactured, I would imagine, whether it was Japan or the UK. So I hope I've given you the answers. I didn't write anything down, so I'm hoping that I've answered everyone's questions. But yeah, 5 and 9 plus 10 on that antenna we was talking about, and about 125, 130 watts out the back of the radio. So back to you, John. Papa Alpha 1, Lima Echo Golf. This is Mike Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Fox.
Yes, Mark. I'm quite surprised such an old radio produces so much power. That's quite surprising, really. I wonder if it's been modified or that's standard. I know very little about these older radios. I've only been licensed for a couple of years, Mark, and I've had my 7,300 for over 4 years now. So I'm not really into older radios, like I'm not really into older cars. Well, it's all a personal opinion. I know nostalgia is very powerful. Maybe your father or a close friend had one of those radios back in the day. But you've got 3 of these older radios. You must be really into the older radios. So not for a very drawn out answer, Mark. But I've got to ask you, and I'm really curious because I think the other way. What is it you find so fascinating? And the short answer will do. You don't need to go into a whole storybook about it. But I'm really curious, and because you've got 3 of these old radios, the same model, what is it you find so fascinating with the older radios? Let's say compared to the newer Yaesu, or the newer ICOM, or even the newer Kenwood. What is it that keeps you interested in these older radios, Mark? Over.
Okay, John, yeah, no problem. I've got 15 old radios, but I do actually have an IC7300 and a few other modern radios like the FT817, etc. I've got a couple of Swans sitting here, etc. But anyway, the short answer is I started shortwave listening and radio construction in 1974. I was 11 years old. I just started senior school, and this kid was going on about a radio that doesn't need batteries, etc. So I started building crystal sets, got into the shortwave listening. Then, you know what it's like, back then, anyone who showed an interest in radio, etc., all of the adults had you down as that weird kid up the road that makes radios. So I started repairing old radios, and I come across valve radios, which, people were just throwing in the dustbin. So I sort of got an interest in valve radios and started building valve radios. Then I failed the radio amateurs examination in 1978, and it was just one of those things that it passed me by. And when I got back into the hobby, now I've never been out of the hobby per se, but when I got licensed, I started thinking back to all those old radios that I used to really want to own back in the day. And so, yeah, part of it is nostalgia, even though I've never actually owned them back in the day. I mean, I owned a few for free banding, for not being licensed. I did own several of them, but like the TS-830, for instance, it's a radio I always wanted but could never afford. So I bought that radio. And I'm a big Kenwood fan, so that's why I've got so many Kenwoods. But, I've got summer camps and all sorts hanging around here, all for restoration. I'm now retired, John. I retired last year in November. And what I tried to do for the last 2 years is buy these old radios that people just didn't want. They were going to throw them away. And I bought them as a sort of improving my chances of extending my hobby way into retirement. It's one of those things where I don't have to go out and buy these radios or anything. They're all sitting there just waiting for when I can be bothered to actually delve into them. So I'm sorry that wasn't the shortest answer as I would have liked, but I wanted to give you some background on it, John. And there's no modifications to this radio whatsoever. It's the nature of the beast. They are a valve output and a valve driver, and the rest of them is a solid state. And these older radios, I mean, if the valves will handle it, so long as you don't run them to death and destroy them, you can get some impressive power out of them compared to transistors and MOSFETs and LDMOS, etc. And likewise, the old Swan 350 that I've got in for restoration, the 350, I believe, denotes the fact that they were meant to be 350 watts. Now, probably not, but the fact is, back then you didn't need amplifiers, because some of these radios could do it out the back. But back to you there, John, and apologies for that another drawn out answer. PA1 LEG MR0 JCF.
Yeah, be careful you don't end up having an amateur radio shop there with all these radios, and good for you. You obviously enjoy that side of the hobby. I'm just a one radio, one operator sort of a guy, so that's more down to my financial situation than really anything else. But it sounds like you've got quite a few radios there, and it's going to keep you busy well into your retirement. But good for you, especially if you enjoy doing this sort of stuff. Personally, I don't know if we could be any more different on this. I just like buying equipment, plugging it in and using it. As for building and repairing stuff, that's far beyond my capabilities. And I don't mind telling anybody who asks or doesn't even ask. But good for you, Mark. It's good to see that you've jumped into things head first, and you got yourself all these radios to keep yourself busy. But from what I can see, Mark, these radios that you've got are only getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. If you're buying them for an investment, I really don't think it'll play out that way, or possibly so. It's funny how fashion and things go round in a circle, so maybe in years to come, these radios will become really valuable, and good for you, my friend. But what is, on that note, I'm going to leave you two guys to it, because here in Holland it's 9 o'clock, and as usual, I've not even started cooking my food yet, let alone eating it, and I've had a really busy day cooking soup in the local park for the volunteers, so I'm going to call it 73s. Very nice talking to you, Mark. Mike Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. And I'm just going to pass over to Shabu, who is just sat there very patiently and very quiet while we've been rambling on. Shabu, your first question today was how's your audio? No problems at all. Leave things as it is. Just don't touch anything, my friend. And I think what you did with the cables possibly improve things. Well, it's certainly not made things any worse, and it's probably only going to help things. I will talk about your electrical wiring in the future, but I really need to go and get something to eat now, and I'm sure there must be an easier way than running extension cables to power your equipment. But like I say, we'll speak about that another time, Shabu. Unfortunately, I need to go get something to eat. So I'll just leave it back to Shabu for the final there, Shabu, over.
Indeed. John, yes, I know it is too late for you. We can definitely catch up again about this thing. Okay then, I wouldn't hold for a final then. You have a good evening. Enjoy your rest of your day, and we can catch up offline and on air as well. Tomorrow we have plenty of time, and day after tomorrow as well, John. Thank you very much. If that is the case, I will continue on the frequency, John. Host then also pinged me, so maybe I will pull him in as well. Bring me as well. So, thank you very much, John. We will catch up again. Papa Alpha 1, London Echo, Germany. For any possible final, Mike 0 kilowatt radio Italy. Go ahead, John.
Oh, there's always a final. Sometimes a final. I'll keep this one short. Yeah, nice talking to you, Mark, and hopefully next time I can speak with you a bit longer, and good for you with all your radios, and congratulations on your audio and your signal. Shabu, it's a hidden garden weekend this weekend, which means people buy tickets for €7.50 and go round to other people's gardens and visit them. So I might be busy in the allotment helping a hand this weekend, but I'm sure I'll be on the radio. I'm sure I'll speak to you over the weekend. Speak to you again, Mark, and 70 from Rotterdam. Shabu, always a pleasure. Have a nice evening, Shabu, and I'll leave you guys with a frequency. 70 from Rotterdam, Shabu and Mark, and I'm going now. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, John. You have a good evening. I will definitely catch up again. Namaste, Shukriya from South London. Yes, just quickly, Mark, I would like to know what microphone you are using with Trio 520, Mark. Over.
Yeah, very good evening to you, John. Take care, and thanks for the chat. And no problem with asking all those questions. I'm always happy to tell people, what I've got, why I've got it, and how long I've got it for. Okay, yeah, Shabu, the microphone. I think I told John it's a Pi microphone, so it's 50K microphone, but it's made by Pi. Now, 1 second, let me have a look at the back and see if it's got the model. Hang on. No, it hasn't. I thought there'd be a marking on the back. No, it's Pi, Papa Yankee Echo, and it's the 50K, so it matches the radio. But it's obviously a PMR or taxi or something like that, late 60s or early 70s. Back to you.
Yeah. That mic has some sort of tonality that is helping to bust through the noise. The Pi mic. I believe I heard somebody using Pi microphone, and this was from Jersey, and I have their contact still, but unfortunately I wanted to get more information on it, but they didn't have an email address on QR as a page. But this Pi microphone, Pi element, it is like the condenser element within the Pi microphone. Something similar to the element that was in the old 1970s style telephone, 1960s, 70s style telephone mouthpiece. The element that was in the telephone mouthpiece. That is the sort of sound I am hearing at the moment, Marcus, yourself.
Yeah, QSL. Yeah, well, the telephone, 70s or pre-1980s telephone microphones were carbon microphones, which needed a few volts in series with them. So they were carbon microphones, but the earphones in telephones, they were high resistance, so 2000 ohms, and if you connected one earpiece to another earpiece on a long length of cable, you could actually talk across it like a field telephone system with no batteries or anything. And as kids, we used to get those telephone earpieces, about 100 yards or 100 meters of wire, so that we couldn't quite see each other or hear each other talking. And yeah, you could talk across a really basic telephone system, but the microphones in telephones, yeah, they were carbon microphones, as I say, needed a few volts to make them work. But I mean, I'm pleased. I think it's because there is two things with these radios. One is the Kenwood quality of audio. A lot of people do comment on Kenwood audio. It's always very clear, very punchy. And yeah, you're probably right that this Pi microphone, probably the fidelity is a little bit narrow because of it being 50k. I'm not too sure. It'd be good actually. I should put this on an analyzer and look at the waveforms, But once again, I'm too lazy, probably. So long as it works, that's all I'm interested in. As I say, this particular radio, I've offered up for sale, and I'm sort of just showcasing it in a quick video. Well, I say it's a quick video. Been at it 40 minutes. I was talking to an LX station, LX2 Alpha Mike Ricardo in Luxembourg. Then I spun the dial and heard you talking with John, and I think one other person. So I sort of waited, called in a couple of times until you heard me, and yeah, I was like listening to the conversation, and I heard you talking about wire antennas, etc. And then I thought to myself, I know the name, the Shabu, I know that name, I know we've spoken before, but maybe it was a lot longer ago than I thought. And I have heard you, actually. I've heard you on various bands calling CQ yourself. Well, okay, Shabu, look, I'll tell you what, I won't hold it any longer. I want to wrap this up, sort of the video side of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the station down now. It's a Friday evening. I think I'm going to go and sit indoors and watch a bit of TV with my good lady wife. So fantastic speaking to you. And I'll make sure that it does go into QRZ. And if you use QRZ, I will obviously confirm that we've had this QSO. You'll find when you put in MR0 JCF, it goes straight to my M0 JCF QRZ page. I haven't set up a separate logbook. I have done in the past, but I'm not worrying about it this time. When I was Mike Queen 0, Juliet Charlie Fox, and 2 Romeo 0, Echo Romeo X-Ray, I was setting up extra sort of logbooks on QRZ. And it just gets a bit messy, it's a bit cumbersome. I like to keep it fairly simple. And I keep paper logbooks as well. I'm on my 13th or 14th paper logbook since I was licensed. So you can see I'm very active. And I like to talk a lot as well. So I'll hand it back to you for a final as well, Shabu. I say thank you again. Best 73. Have a great weekend. And look out for me on 10 and 12 metres as well. I think I might have heard you recently on 10 or 12. Mike 0, Kilo Romeo India. This is R0 JCF.
Break, please, gentlemen.
The breaker, just a minute. Acknowledged, please stand by. Mark, the way I hear you, I remember doing quite a bit of research on... when I did the reading on this bi-microphone element last year, and I have had collected a lot of documentation. I got particularly interested in it because that was the Jersey station I worked. They were using a bi-microphone with with a pi element in it, and they were sounding brilliant for a DX sort of voice. And I still have the documentation. I'll have to look at it. Yes, the way I hear you is there's quite a bit of roll off. I would even say you are rolling off quite a bit below 300. That is the way I hear it. So 300 to maximum 3000. I'm listening on a 3kc filter. There is no noise blanket or noise reduction. There is no internal equalization either. No notching at all. Based on the sound I hear, I think there is a big roll off below the 300. What I will do, I have just recorded your audio, and I will send this file to you, and with a little bit of analysis there, Mark, and we can take it offline as well. I do have a Trio 530, and I would like to fire that up very soon. And I totally understand the interest, the question John was asking about the particular interest in collecting the transceivers, especially the old transceivers. And I think our hobby is such. It is a technical hobby, and the experiments and a particular interest in a particular brand of the radio is 100% understandable. John, you have a 520 and I have a 530 as well. But I will be in touch over the email, Mark. Thank you very much for the lovely chat. You have a good evening. Enjoy your rest of your day. And hope to be again many times on the band. Mike Radio 0, Japan, Charlie, Florida. Mike 0 kilowatt radio Italy.
Yeah, no problem, Shabu. You can email me, and I'll listen to that with interest. Yeah, there's no problem whatsoever. And yeah, as I say, the characteristics of the microphone, you're probably quite right. 300 hertz to 3.4 kilohertz was the old telephone bandwidth. So yeah, it probably matches that, and is probably the same as all PMR equipment back in the day. I know you got a break station. I'm sure he wants to speak to you, possibly wants to speak to us both. I don't know. So I'll let you bring the break station in. So I will listen briefly, just in case he wants to speak to me. But the understanding, this frequency is yours and not mine, and I will be going QRT very soon. So back to you to bring in the break station, Shabu. Have a great weekend and speak to you soon. Bye-bye for now.
Yeah, very good, all copied. I will definitely send this email after the QSO, Mark. Let's see who is the break station. The breaking station, please come again. This is Mike 0, kilowatt radio Italy. On the other side, Mike Radio 0, Japan, Charlie, Florida. The breaker, please come in.
Yes, good evening, Shabu, and good evening, Mark. It's Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, and Mike 0, Kilo Romeo India. This is Golf 0, Golf Juliet Golf. My name is Barry, and I'm in the county of Staffordshire, just a little to the south of the county town Stafford, and being the notorious M6 motorway. I was listening with great interest to both of you, in particular the fact that you're both using valve equipment. In your case, Shabu, the 520, I think you said, was it the 530? And in your case, Mark, I'm very curious to know, TS-830 that you have, with the double front-end conversion, against the brand new all-solid state 7300. Now, how do you rate the one against the other one? I'm very curious to know. This is a 40-year-old TS-520s I'm using, and it's the only rig I've ever had for HF when I was first licensed about 40 years ago. A quick reply to that, if I may, Shabu, from Mark, regarding the difference, or the 7300 against the TS-830. I would be very surprised if you rate the 7300 any better, to be honest with you, Mark. Anyway, I'll put it back to you, Shabu, because I think this is your frequency, and I know Mark wants to get away. I don't want to stay on too long. It was just that I didn't want to miss asking this question of Mark. So back to you, Shabu. Mike 0, Kilo, Romeo India in the group G. Golf, Juliet Golf.
I think you had a couple of questions for Mark, so we'll pass you over back to Mark. Mark, please go ahead.
Yeah, Golf 0, Golf Juliet Golf, Mike Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Fox. Sorry, I didn't write your name down. That was very remiss of me. Apologies for that. But yeah, I know why you're asking that question. It's a very, very difficult one. Very difficult indeed. I find the noise handling capability of the 7300 is in some way superior. Probably because you're basically operating a computer with an RF stage one side, and you've got an audio stage the other side of the computer. I know that's really simplifying it. I know that's not exactly what it is, but you know, I can get, say on 10 meters, for instance, when the noise floor on my TS-520S is, say, Santiago 2 on 10 meters, which isn't that often, as that's quite rare on 10 and 12. On the IC7300, you know, the noise will be 0, and that's it. 0 is 0. You can't get less than 0, but if I thought there was such a thing, then it would be less than 0. So you know, the IC7300, once again, it puts out it puts out 100 watts. The 830 can put out between 100 110 watts, I suppose. I know there's no difference in that whatsoever. You know, I haven't overdriven it or anything because I don't want to break that one. That's a radio that I want to last me a lifetime. It is very difficult to be subjective. As I say, I've got the modern radio for those difficult times. The older radio, it just, you know, it is such a pleasure to use because, like this 520, you know, everything's right in front of your face. You know, if you want to alter the IF shift or the width, etc., on the 830 or the passband filter, you know, it's right there in front of you. With the IC7300, you know, you've got to tap the screen for the filters. You've got to, you know, go into the noise reduction and double tap and, you know, and twist knobs and stuff, and lots of menus and stuff. And unless, I mean, I've got mine fairly well set up the way I want it, but you know, for those minor tweaks and turns, the IC7300 is a real, no, I'm not going to say a pain to use. It depends what you want to do on the fly. You know, it can be quite, you know, you can get lost and forget that, you know, you're meant to be talking to people on the radio. The 830, you know, it's just a lovely piece of kit. I've got the MC50 microphone with it and the AT230 manual tuner with it. I paid 250 quid for the whole lot. And then for £100 or thereabouts, I bought a station monitor, the SM220, so I can have, you know, I can see the output waveforms, etc. Basically a glorified oscilloscope plugged into your IF, but you know, you can see the output waveforms. You can use it as a band scope for incoming. You know, it's just, I don't know, it's hard. You sort of put me on the spot, and I wasn't prepared for that question. If I had to get rid of one, if somebody said to me, you have got to get rid of one, I would find it incredibly difficult, very, very difficult. But I think I would probably get rid of the IC7300 and then, you know, live with the 830 the way it is, because yeah, I just like old school. As I say, the 7300 I bought out of curiosity and convenience. I actually replaced a TS-520S. When did I sell that? Must have sold that around about January, and I sort of missed that radio. It was almost in between. It had some menus. You did have to do a bit of diving, but like the older stuff, most of it was sort of at your fingertip. I don't know if that answers your question, because I tend to ramble, and I may have gone off piste slightly. I don't know if I could give you a short, direct answer on that one. Golf Zero, Golf Juliet Golf. This is Mike Romeo Zero, Juliet Charlie Fox in the group.
Yes, solid copy, Mark, and no problem. Forgive me for not giving you reports on signal reports. You're both S9. In your case, Shabu, you're a little over S9 or fine. Very nice, sharp audio from you, by the way, Shabu. I'm not certain what country you're working at this present moment, whether it's the old valve equipment or it's something more modern, but classic signal for both of you. You know, you've answered that as I thought you might, Mark. I thought you might say that somehow. What I do like about the old stuff is the moving coalescence. I don't like bar graphs and things like that. It's just screens on modern equipment. We have no choice these days. By the way, Mark, for your interest, an 830, with the asking price of a second-hand 830 here at the local emporium was £625. Very recently, and I put a switch in the place I just over a week ago, and I think it was sold very, very quickly. So there you are. You've got a bit of value in that 830. But I'm keeping you both. I think you want to get away, Mark. It's been a great pleasure to do. But just before I close, would you mind just giving me your QTH? I'm just curious to know the range that you are from my QTH. Just to give us an idea of conditions on the ground this evening. So with that, I'll put it around to you, Shabu, and thank you very much for allowing me in, and thank you also, Mark. You answered my question, I think. So look forward to the next one with you both, and have a very good evening, and enjoy the weather over the weekend. Back to you, Shabu, just to see your QTH, if you will. Mike Zero, Romeo India with Mike Romeo Zero, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. This is Caesar, Golf Juliet Golf.
Yeah, very good, Barry. When you initially did break in, you were 59, a solid 59, but at the moment you are going down to 5x5, 5x7, Barry. My location is South Croydon, southern part of London, 12 miles south of London. I am not running a Trio 530 at the moment, no. But I do have a Trio 530, Barry. I'm running an ICOM IC 7800, pushing about 400 at the moment, into a 2-element Moxon wire beam antenna, and I'm beaming 60-degree northeast, Barry. Condition is getting a little bit noisy at the moment. Band must be changing as well. I would like to check back maybe a few hours later. Barry and Mark. Thank you very much. You have a good evening. Enjoy your rest of your day. And I hope to meet you again many times on the band. So I will put you over back to Barry once again. Golf Zero, Golf Japan and Germany. And the group, Mike Zero, Kilowatt Radio Italy.
Yes, it's been a great pleasure to go, and you're a bit too early enough. Of course, your station has a different field work for both of us. This is using a long wire, which is all I've got, and it's about 85 feet long against plenty of counterpoise, and this might be of interest to Mark, because I already mentioned that he also uses long wire antennas. This one is basically working for the basic design, very, very old design, and it's just 85 feet against 22 feet counterpoise for 8 nice to travel back. That's the way it works anyway. Anyway, on another occasion, Mark, we must discuss this long wire antennas they show. Not tonight, I'll let you go. Anyway, this is process free and be my pleasure. We're very enjoyable weekend. So talking. Mike Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, transfer interview, Juliet 0, Golf 3 as well, just interesting before closing down. Bye-bye, gentlemen.
Yeah, M0, GJG, MR0, JCF. Barry, absolute pleasure to talk to you. You started 5 and 9, you've dropped down to 5 and 3, maybe a 4 and 3 actually. I would say a 4 and 3, but you start at 5 and 9. I think the band is going longer because I'm getting more and more European sideband splatter as well. So great to talk to you. 90-foot long wire here, and you know the rest of it. I'll say good evening to you both, gents, and I'm going to wind it up now and beat a hasty retreat out of the garage. You take care, fantastic weekend, and bye-bye for now. Mike Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot is now QRT. Over to you, Shabu.
Yeah, very good, Mark. You are peaking 5'9" plus 5 dB. That 520 is doing a wonderful job. I think it is pushing beyond, it is actually pushing its boundaries really well. You will reach very far away exotic location with that cutting through the noise audio, Mark. Very nice to meet you, and I have sent you an email. We can probably catch up over the email, Mark. And Barry, thank you very much for stopping by and saying hello to me. Have a good evening. Enjoy your rest of your day, both you guys, and we will definitely catch up again and have a lovely weekend as well. Until we meet again, Namaste, Shukriya from South London. Mike Radio 0, Japan, Charlie Fox, signing off. And Golf 0, Golf Japan, Germany, already signed. Mike 0, Kilowatt, Radio Italy. Bye-bye, Mark. Bye-bye, Barry. Delta Japan 2, Delta X-ray, how's that audio?
Yeah.